This show is sponsored by Lila Arboretum Society.
Hi, I'm Vi Gogol, Master Gardener, and with me is Sarah Schmanske, and she is on the 2016 garden tour. We're standing here at her entry where she's got some perennials that attract butterflies, hummingbirds, and I don't know what all. Bees, probably.
Yeah, I found one of those ones that looked like a part hummingbird and part bee the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of a moth,
It's
I think.
a hummingbird moth.
Yes.
Usually I find bumblebee moths. There's another one too.
It was down on one of the bee bombs.
Yeah, one year they were thick, but this year I haven't seen any for a couple of years. I'm glad to know they're back.
Yeah, it was back.
Okay, well, let's walk out into the other part of the garden and see what we find out there.
Okay.
Okay, we're here next to a bed that I find one of the most important reasons for people to come to your garden, because it's something you're not going to see anywhere else. And not to belittle your flowers, because they're beautiful too.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a succulent bed, and we've labeled as many of them as we knew the names of. And that's a Weigela bush right there in the middle. It isn't blooming yet, but it certainly adds some color with the foliage.
Right.
And I've often told people when they put plants in the garden, don't just do it for the flower bloom. Plant it where the foliage is going to be beautiful, because the flowers don't bloom as long as what the foliage is there.
Exactly, yep. There's so many different colors too on these, and the shapes of the leaves.
Oh yeah.
Some of them you can see some purple along with the green, and there's a little red.
Now that one's called sedum, and it's got a long Latin name, and in the stonecrop family, and it's Mariana. Is that how it's pronounced? Mariana?
Marina?
Marina?
I think it's
Is it
Marina. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
And one of my favorites is right behind it. If Dave can get in on that one, that's sedum seboldii, and the variety, according to Michigan State, is October Daphne.
Oh, okay.
And I bought a whole flat of that once and gave it out to people because I loved it so
wow.
much.
Yeah.
It doesn't do well in my sand.
That's really interesting.
Let's see, there's one back there. It's a little bit taller, and Mr. Goodbud, the sedum. And moving right along, we maybe can see some others that we can give the names of.
Yeah, I see hens and chicks right over there next to the bird bath.
Yeah. This one is an interesting name. Sedum, it's a stone crop, and it's Autumn Delight. And then over about two feet away from it to the right, or the left it is. I don't know my left from my right. It's sedum spectable. Sedum spectable, and it's brilliant is the name of that one.
Oh yeah, I know the brilliant. Yes.
It's a lot like Autumn Joy, but it's kind of a hot pink,
purple. Yeah.
And then it doesn't tend to get as pretty a bloom for the winter as what the Autumn Joy does. That one lasts all winter, and it's maroonish color.
Okay.
And then right here is a hens and chicks.
Well, it's too bad I don't have the rest of my mulch down for this.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's not garden tour day yet.
Okay.
But you can, perhaps you see in the soil little specks. She's putting down some
Preen
to keep the weeds from growing before the garden poor people get here.
I bet I bought 15 containers of preen.
Yeah.
And I'm down to only a couple.
That autumn origami, that's an interesting one. And then right in front, a little to the left, is Vera Jameson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, over here near the bird bath is another pretty one that I had never seen before I saw it in your garden. It's a sedum, it's a stone crop, and it's thunderhead. We had that the other day, didn't we? Have a little thunder.
Yes, we did.
Oh,
I love that rain that we had.
yes, it was floating,
Oh,
making a lot of puddles along the road, but we
Yeah.
really needed it badly. It's the first rain we've had since what, June?
seems like it.
Well, early June. Maybe it was even in May. There's an interesting one. It's some Rock and Glow Pure Joy. I can't pronounce the first name of it. But usually garden centers understand when you give them the variety and tell them it's sedum. If they've ever sold it, they're familiar with it.
Okay.
And can find it. Or tell you, no, we don't have it. Let's see. That one is called Sedum Birthday Party. And that's pretty. The leaves, there's just such a variation in the coloring of these leaves on these plants. It just,
I know some of them too spread out and down, and others stay upright.
exactly.
And the blossom down there,
I don't know
probably one of the first ones.
what's the name of that one.
I'm not sure.
I don't know if we've got a label on it on the other side by the driveway. This pinky purple one, Sedum Sun Sparkler, Jade Tufted.
This one looks like it has a marker down in the ground.
It does.
Right there.
Let's,
Or is it gone?
it doesn't have a name
Yeah.
that I can read.
So many of those markers have either blown away or got.
Oh, this is another one of the Brilliant.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only word I could find on there was Brilliant. And that will be a hot pink color. Oh. Okay, I think probably we've come to the end of this flower bed. We do have another succulent bed that we'll get to later, but let's go look at some of the perennials and daylilies and some of the other blooming flowers you have.
Okay.
Okay, in this bed, before we got here, we were talking about your helper, Lori, your cousin.
My cousin Lori Harris has been here for more than 5 weeks helping Monday through Friday. Weeding, planting, putting mulch down for me.
And I
Yeah,
seen you out
she's-
here working too.
Yeah, most I can do is the weeding because of my back problems.
Yeah.
And then her grandson Emmanuel has done so many of these rock borders for me.
Oh,
So he's been a very big help too.
it's a family affair here.
Yes.
Okay, well, in this bed, let's see what I see here. There's one of the things the other night when we had some people here that are going to be hosting your garden for you, I pointed out the blue fescue grass. It just, when it was, you had sprinkled it not too long before we got here, I think, and there were just little tiny drops, and it just sparkled in
Oh.
the sun. It was just, and there's another place where it's at that it just really sets the garden off to get that blue color in there.
And these have done really well this year for some odd reason. So
They probably like the winter.
Oh, okay.
And now we have Gaillardia. And those the little pods, the little round circles, they add to the garden until the birds come and eat them.
Right.
And it's good to leave them up for the birds. And then butterfly plant, that's not the name of it, but that's what we all call it.
Here's a pretty lily down
Oh
here.
yeah, lily down low.
I'd like to mention too how my deer in this area have come over and taken a lot of buds off a lot of my lilies and
The
eaten
daylilies too.
the daylilies too.
We want to call it a black-eyed Susan, but I think they're Glorosia daisies because the black-eyed Susans aren't in bloom yet.
Oh.
But they look just like black-eyed Susans.
Okay.
And that's a really neat flower, and you can start that from seed. I had a whole lot of them in my garden one year that I started from. In fact, the year I was on garden tour, when they came and looked at my garden, they couldn't see anything out there, and then they came to the tour, and here's all these flowers. They said, "You plant all these?" I said, "No, they just weren't in bloom. They weren't in bloom yet."
I've heard there's also brown-eyed Susans too.
Yeah, I think there's in the wild book. There
Okay.
is one. The one that we all get in our garden is called Goldstrom. That's the perennial that they sell so much of.
Okay.
We have some beautiful purple coneflowers back there. Maybe you can just make the camera go that way, Dave. The red hot pokers. You know, most of us know them as that red hot orangey color, but you've got a beautiful variety in
Yes.
there that's really soft and kind of elegant.
I might have gotten that at River Street Flowerland
Yeah.
in Comstock.
There are a lot of varieties of red hot poker that aren't hardy to our zone.
Oh.
And they have pure white ones and real pale yellow solid. I might have pictures of them. They're probably on a DVD someplace.
I've planted a couple of the more common kind that people see, and I do not see them in here this year. So,
Well, I've never had a lot of luck keeping
Haven't ya?
that orange one alive, and that was the
Okay.
one they were all selling. Maybe they're selling it because it's short-lived, and then we'd have to come back and buy another one. But I see you got lilies over there that are ready to burst.
yes,
Uh,
ones the deer didn't get.
yeah, I don't know whether this one's Helianthus or Heliopsis, but it's one of the two. And did you say that spreads by seed?
That spreads all over. Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
that probably
pulling it every year.
Probably differentiates which one of those it is if
Yeah, I'm
if
not
it
sure.
comes from seed. But
I
that
tried to-
certainly is attractive in the garden, a nice big clump. And
Yeah.
see, this is what convinced me that they were Gloriosa daisies because of the variety of
Oh,
color.
Okay.
And even after they even change variety coloring when they cross-pollinate and drop seeds and the new plants come up.
Oh.
And they're you get things that you didn't have the first time they bloomed.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the grass, we've got several kinds of grass. Now you said someone recommended you put some grass in this garden?
Yes, Nancy Webster, who used to work at Greenscape and now has her own business, came over and actually figured out the design for this garden, the shape of it, because I had the nuns' heads in the garden first. So
We're in front of one of those famous nuns' heads that I wish I could have one in my garden. But
Right. They were originally at the top of the Lila Lodge and the original Lila Hospital building. And then when they tore down the old building, they were in the lodge. They had a bunch of these set aside with hardly any plans for any of them except a couple. So my boss, at the time, he was high up in the chain, and I asked him if I could have a nun's head, and he told me as long as I had my own transportation, he'd give me one. And then I got to thinking, one nun's head's not going to look right in this big yard. So I asked him for another one, and I got it. So I was tickled about that.
yeah, this is the second time I've run into them, and I know that on the printed tickets I said they came from another hospital, and I don't know what I was thinking because that one it was not the same
Oh, the
religion as
sanitarium.
Lila was. Yeah. I guess I was getting brushed that day and
Right.
just wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah,
But I'm so glad we were able to straighten that out.
yeah.
At least the people who come here to your garden are going to know.
People have stopped and thought they were like a cemetery, a stone, and I've had people stop and want to buy one, and then they just ask me, what the heck are those things? They can't tell it's a nun's head, so when I tell them, they go,
Yeah, then
oh,
you can
yeah,
see
now
it.
I see it.
Yeah, now you see it.
But it's from the Art Deco period, back in the early 20s.
Okay, I see you've got some phlox back there. A
Yes.
little pink one.
Oh, I love the flax.
Yeah, the butterflies do too.
Uh-huh.
And moving along here, we're starting to hit into some more lilies, some daylilies. The pretty purple one down there
Yeah.
in front. And
One the deer missed.
yeah, it's one the deer missed.
He got this one though. Look at all the buds taken off of this one.
Naughty little thing. Might mention too that you've got your bed all outlined in light, so when we drive by at night, we can enjoy your garden because you light it up.
Yeah, I like the effect that gives too.
And then moving on, there's another beautiful daylily that's got a almost a purple red line in the middle of it. You know, there are technical things for all this stuff I'm talking about.
Right.
But that's not, I don't remember what they are.
Is that the throat of the
Yeah,
lily?
the throat.
Yeah.
It's just, okay. There's a couple of real tall lilies there, one that's more reddish and one that's pink, but they don't look like red and pink. They got their own shade, haven't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
They're real pretty. And I'm not sure their names. I'm sorry on that.
well, sometimes when you buy them, they come in mixed in a package, and unless you've got another one in your garden somewhere that you bought by the name and it's exactly like it, then you know what it is, but otherwise.
Or if you get them from Brex and they don't send a tag with them. There's a couple of them that hopefully are going to blossom for the tour.
There's some over on the other side there I saw that they're huge, huge buds that are about ready to burst open. I think those definitely will be open for the tour. Over here we've got a lot of red monarda or bee balm.
Yes.
And that attracts hummingbirds. It also gives a backing to your other nun's head.
Yeah, and those spread too. I've been trying. Last year I pulled some up, and we put them in other parts of the garden too.
Yeah.
So they weren't just contained over here.
Yeah, that gives continuity when you move flowers from one place to another.
Right. And it seemed like I had so much yellow and purple, so I was trying to break up the colors a little.
Very, very colorful.
Some more lilies the deer got.
Okay, well let's move over to the other bed. That's a beautiful deep dark daylily there. It's and it's got lots of buds coming on it too.
Right. It is pretty.
And I know you said you had Pardon Me out here, but I'm not sure if in your garden it does so much better than it does in mine. Your blooms are bigger.
Oh.
That is not it, but
I thought I'd tell you this though, that I had a friend a couple weeks ago count all my daylilies because I was not sure how many I had. She counted 200 daylilies, and there's probably only 3 that are duplicates.
Wow.
Yes. So.
And that purple one towards the grapevine back there. That clump certainly has developed a lot of buds and flowers, and that's going to be blooming for quite a while.
Right.
And then here's one that's almost white.
Yeah.
I guess we should talk about that one though. That seems to be one of the things that hybridizers are looking for, is ruffled edges, and when they combine it with another one to create a new one, they seem to look for those with the ruffled edges and hope that whatever they created comes out to be that.
Okay. I've seen a lot of them in the catalogs that they send me.
Yeah.
About the ruffled edges. They have whole sections of them.
Yeah, and there's so many now that are called ever blooming, and I've had so many people say to me, or that they're supposed to bloom twice.
Oh, the
or
reblooming.
the reblooming
yes.
ones, and they say, well, mine isn't. I said, well, when the last blossoms that are out there, go out and check your plant and pull on some of the stems that had flowers on them. I said, you'll find some that are really old and you can pull them right up. You'll find some that might have a tinge of green yet to them, and then you'll have the ones that are in bloom right then. I said, that's 3 different blooming periods.
Oh.
They just all seem to be merging together. There's
Oh.
they think there should be a time in between them,
Right.
but there isn't.
Oh, okay.
They just keep right on blooming and sending them up.
Well, I just learned something then from you.
But this is the white one I mentioned. It was way away from here. And there's a beautiful pale yellow one behind that. You know, if these grow much bigger, you're going to have to put a stand out here and sell starts of them.
My friends will come sometimes at the beginning of the season, and I'll tell them, any of the big ones, if you feel like digging them up, you know, and put the mulch back, you can have starters out of any of the big ones. So a few people have taken me up on that offer. Then, of course, Lori, you know.
She probably has to plant in her garden.
Well, I'm always giving her starters from different plants.
Yeah, with the Master Gardener group.
Look at the stripes on
Oh yeah,
this one. That's real
this has
pretty.
got real pretty stripes on it, Dave.
Yeah.
That's a feature probably they were looking for. And then the one right next to it has the dark throat, but it's also got a ruffled edge in there, so just a teensy bit of gold. Yeah, we're getting a little taste of what people have been admiring your garden for a long time, and now they see you out here with us. We're trying to videotape, and they keep stopping and asking questions. So you've got a popular garden here.
Helps to have it on a main street, I guess.
Yeah.
I also have a collection of different peonies up here. I think like 14 or 15 peonies bushes. Oh, that's not, they're not blossoming.
Yeah. And that's a bright yellow one, daylily, right there. That's beautiful. And here's another one with a stripe. It's similar to the other one, but it's totally different. The stripe is more white, and I don't know, was the throat yellow on that other one? It's a lighter, it looks like it's a lighter color of pink. It's a beautiful one. Okay, well let's go over to that. This is something that I think probably you have inspired people, because driving by here, a lot of people are starting to look for the guys that do this kind of work, this chainsaw artwork. And of course then the Lila Arboretum has that big display called Fantasy Forest down there. Down towards the street, which is going to be a little harder to hear us because big trucks keep going by, like that one. But it's in the middle of the other succulent bed that you call this the hens and chicks bed, right?
Yes, I do. This used to be lilies of the valley and a bunch of vines and weeds, and it was an eyesore. So my cousin Lori and a friend dug that out 2 years ago. And then I thought, I need something different in here. So anyway, I came up with the hens and chicks.
Moving on to the shrubs over here that are blooming. Is this an Annabelle, or is this something else?
I am not sure.
I think, does it send out little shoots and it get bigger by sending out shoots from the base?
It seems to get, it's been getting wider.
Yeah, I think that's an Annabelle, and that is one of the people's favorite to grow, because it's not like some of them don't bloom on, they only bloom on old wood, and if the winter is severe, it dies down to the ground. It comes back, you have beautiful foliage, but no flowers. And I don't know, I've tried multiple ways to try to keep the stems alive, but so far I haven't had anything successful. Dave's taking shots of your huge hosta over here.
Yeah.
That's got so much color in it.
Yes.
You know, there are people that go out and cut their blossoms off. They only grow it for the leaves.
Really?
Yeah. And I said,
Oh, the blossoms are interesting too.
oh, they're beautiful. And there's one that's got the word Montana after the name, and the blooms stand up instead of hanging down.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, well,
that third one See how it grows up instead of
Is that
laying closer to the ground?
Is that one Sagay?
I'm not sure.
That's a variety off of, I can't remember the name of the bluish one.
Regal?
Yeah, Crosa Regal. Dave remembered it.
Oh.
They did something to cross it with the green and the white, and they got the growing habit of the Crosa Regal. The Crosa Regal is more blue.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites, and I don't think mine is still alive. Some of these daylilies, here's another deep red one, Dave, up here, that is absolutely gorgeous.
I like the one right next to it too.
Yeah, that I want him to get a shot of that one if you can from where you're at. That yellow with the dark burgundy, is it, or purple, or?
Looks like it, yeah.
Boy, that one is gorgeous. I wonder if that one's a rebloomer.
It looks like,
The red one.
yeah. Look at, you can tell the deer got all those too.
But you're spraying for that now, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
There.
kind of a
now
ruffled
now
one.
we're here with your other tree that has the hummingbird on it.
Yeah.
And what do some people think it's what?
Oh, they thought it was a woodpecker. They thought it was a pelican.
I knew right away it was.
I know, it's mostly,
People,
I'm going to sound sexist, it's mostly the guys that say that.
They're not into birds, evidently.
Evidently not. And that was a walnut tree. And the grain on that wood before it was painted was just beautiful. And I debated for several days, do I paint it, don't I? Just kind of put like a lacquer or something on it. And then the more comments I was hearing where people didn't know what it was,
Yeah.
I decided I probably should paint that.
And now,
And I want to say that Jerry Miller did all the carvings for me.
right, that's what Well, we're over to the north side of your garden, and we have a little more shade here for the hostas. It's amazing that those out by the street were doing so well because they do get sun periodically. But these are gorgeous, and I think you've probably put the right ones in the right place. The ones that need the shade and the ones
Yeah.
that can survive with some sunshine. I think that one is called striptease.
I like this one back here that's got the red stems
Oh, yeah.
back there. That's pretty.
Okay, well, we've been around your garden, and I think we're probably running out of time because it's time for us to be way past time for us to be at the next garden. So we'll sign off. Thank you so much for putting your garden on display for the city.
My pleasure.
And I appreciate all the work you've been doing here, and Lori too,
Yes.
although she's wandered off somewhere.
She's in the backyard hiding, I think.
Okay, well, thanks again, and Lila Arboretum appreciates it too.
Thank you very much.
If you would like to become a master gardener, call 969-0270, extension 116. If you have questions or suggestions about this show, call 963-1448.